All right. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up. I'm your host, David Washington from the Jay and Washington Network. With the Equal Rights Amendment on the brink of inclusion, Biden faces a choice: either bold action or cautious inaction. Advocates urge him to bypass congressional gridlock and publish the Equal Rights Amendment. Should President Biden risk legal challenges to enshrine gender equality or play it safe as the clock winds down on his presidency? Okay, there's a lot going on here, everyone. And this is one of those things in a lame duck presidency that go under the radar. And this is more of just a thing. This is huge. We're talking about the addition of possibly the 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. So if you're not familiar with the Equal Rights Amendment, back in the 70s, the Equal Rights Amendment was presented for gender equality, to make it illegal to discriminate based on gender. And this has been going on and on and on for decades. And finally, the Equal Rights Amendment initiative has met the criteria to be enshrined into the Constitution as the 28th Amendment. That means 3/4 of the states, Virginia being the last one to ratify it or to certify it in their legislature, and 3/4 of Congress at that time have to approve to enshrine the amendment into the Constitution. Those two criteria have been met. However, the national forgive me, I forgot the National Archivist, who's responsible for signing their name onto the document, the official document, thus certifying and enshrining the amendment into the Constitution. They have put out a statement not too long ago, several weeks ago, stating that because of the fact that in this particular amendment, there is a stipulation that the amendment should have been approved by a certain time, 1982 to be exact. And therefore, the National Archivist cannot enshrine the amendment, cannot certify it, cannot register it into the U.S. Constitution. Now, advocates like Senator Gillibrand of New York, the junior senator of New York, and other supporters like the League of Women Voters have asked the President Biden to look at this and just make a simple phone call, a 2-minute phone call to the National Archivist and say, hey, sign your name, certify, get this amendment enshrined. Of course, detractors to this amendment have said the time frame is up. Congress specifically said that there was a certain amount of time that this particular amendment needed to be enshrined into the Constitution. That time has passed. Back in 2020, President Trump sent a memo to the National Archivist directing them not to sign the document. Now, in the waning hours and weeks of President Biden's presidency, he has an opportunity to, one, of course, establish the ERA as the 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, and two, cement his legacy as a transformative president. So, oh man, for you all, is Joe Biden too cautious to cement a historic victory for gender equality? With the Equal Rights Amendment just one bold move away, we have to ask ourselves, Should Biden borrow a page from Trump's rule book and just do it? If this was Donald J. Trump, he would just do it if it was something that he believed in and favored and that his supporters believed in and favored also. So this is, I mentioned this during my last interview earlier this week, just before, or was it last week? It was my interview on Live Now from Fox with Stephanie Quinn Yu, that we were discussing the release of Representative Matt Gaetz's Ethics Committee report. And in closing, Stephanie asked me, "Okay, so what's on your radar, David?" And I said, "You know something? There's this quiet conversation going on about the Equal Rights Amendment, perhaps having the opportunity to be signed by the National Archivist and enshrined into the Constitution of the United States." And I just kind of dropped that there. I've been following this story. President Biden is well aware. Dr. Jill Biden, the First Lady, she's well aware. And it sounds like they've had conversations. At the time, I was listening to an interview with the New York Times, the Daily podcast. They were having an interview with her, the Daily, and Senator Gillibrand said that she had only 30 seconds to really broach this issue to President and First Lady Biden, and they're aware. However, there has been no sit down with the president to determine whether or not he's going to follow through, make that call, and say, "Hey, let's sign the paperwork. Let's get this done." So the ERA isn't just a legal amendment, it's a moral imperative for gender equality that depends on action, not hesitation. So let's see what President Biden does. I'm not hearing a lot of chatter. Maybe it's because I've been working. I don't know. There's a lot going on, and man, there's some great stuff coming in 2025. But the typical, women's rights advocates, I'm just not hearing a lot. I know that Senator Gillibrand said that the Equal Rights Amendment will then enshrine the right to privacy for women. Thus, and this is the argument, because women will have the established constitutional right to privacy based on the ERA, then they will have the right at a national level to abortion access. I hope I got that correct. However, from what I've listened to, and do your own research, please do your own research. Go and listen to the Daily's interview with Senator Gillibrand. It was about a week ago, so maybe December 20th or so, maybe December 23rd. However, Gillibrand lays the case that establishing the ERA will establish abortion rights for women across the country. So I'm going to drop that right there. Let's see how this goes. We have until January 20th at noon when the president-elect, Donald J. Trump, will be sworn in as president. Biden has done some serious stuff in the waning hours and weeks of his administration. So don't be surprised that we will see and hear that he has directed the National Archivist to sign the ERA, Equal Rights Amendment, thus certifying it and enshrining it into the U.S. Constitution. Here we go. Sorry, Governor Ron DeSantis, your proposed amendment is going to have to wait. Establishing government officials, elected not being able to financially benefit from the markets. I think that's what his amendment was going to be. But that may have to be number 29. So we'll see. However, for you, our viewers and listeners, thank you so much for being here and listening to say. We encourage you to comment. Let's have that conversation. You are our community, and we want to grow our community. So please like, share, hit the notification button. Let all your family members, all your friends, those influencers and politicals that you know, the candidates and electeds, anyone who may benefit from the information that we are sharing with you. And remember, let them know and let them also understand to do their own damn research. That's important. There's so much information out there on the internet, and there's AI. So, do what you need to do so that you're better aware about the world around you and become more civically engaged. So, again, this is You Can't Make This Shit Up. There's a rebrand coming, so we'll see you soon. Thank you. Thank you, community. Ubuntu.